Afternoon, everybody. It's good to see you again. And I want to first of all start off thanking you for giving us the opportunity to present. We had a good 2 weeks since the last time that we met, and I think you're going to find that the solution that we're proposing is going to be the business objectives that we talked about. I'll take a moment right now just to kind of introduce the two of us and the extended team that we've brought with us today, because I know that there's some new faces in the room. My name is Dane Hershberger. I am in SE with VMware, as is my colleague. If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Vern Williams and SE, both of us are part of the response team, specifically geared towards providing response to Red Rock Bank.
Right, and just the extended team that we have over here, we're not going to take the time to introduce all of them, but I just wanted to say that they're here, and they'll be able to answer any questions that might be presented as part of this proposal today. So let's go ahead and just kind of dig into it. And the first thing we're just going to go over here real quick is the agenda. You see here, it's relatively straightforward. First, we're going to talk about the business objectives. Then we'll talk about the critical design points that we address. I'll highlight the critical design points that we address with the proposal that we've got. Then I'm going to hand it over to Vern. And Vern is going to walk through a very high-level overview of what the architecture of the proposal is that we've got for you today. Then we'll finish up with talking about the approach from a professional services organization perspective that we take to make sure that whatever is implemented is deemed successful by both VMware, but more importantly by Red Rock Bank. So we set that up, and what I want to do is I want to just talk about, when we gathered here 2 weeks ago, there were 3 specific requirements that were defined by Red Rock Bank, but really something that kind of was an umbrella over all of those requirements that everybody knew was in the room was the fact that you guys are a financial institution. And as a financial institution, no matter what you do, no matter what improvements you make to the services that you provide, you've got to be able to say that you are adhering to the governance, risk, and compliance requirements that are inherent upon a financial institution, not just from the internal controls that you've got, but from the expectations and demands of the external agencies that you have to report through. So we understand as we go through the rest of these objectives that is a minimum that must be met. And what I wanted to do here is just say that this isn't our first time around this particular block. We've been able to work with a number of other financial institutions in order to meet their business objectives while at the same time making sure that their governance, risk, and compliance expectations are met. All right, so with that said, we'll drill down into this a little bit and say, the first thing that we heard from 2 weeks ago was that you have a need, desire to stay ahead of your competitors and continuously improve the service that you've got. When I talk about continuously improving that service, what I'm really talking about is being able to provide not just more services to your existing customers, but being able to do that in a high-performing, consistent, reliable way that is delivered faster than you've ever delivered it before. Second, in addition to servicing your existing customers, you know that in order for you to grow as a bank and be able to essentially meet the bank's destiny, you have to expand out into the large enterprise customer segment and provide the same level of high-quality services to that segment that you already provide to your existing customers. Now, you can't do either of those objectives. You can't meet either of those objectives without acknowledging the reality that they're going to cost money. So the third thing that we heard is that in order to help at least partially fund this initiative that you've got, you know that you have to optimize your internal processes, especially from an IT perspective, and you've got to be able to consolidate your assets that you've acquired over a number of mergers and acquisitions. Your intent is to consolidate your data centers down into 3 data centers globally. And our proposal touches upon that in a very direct way. Now, before I go on, what I want to do is I'm going to open it up here and say, this is what we heard 2 weeks ago. Is what we heard what it is that you're expecting us to be able to deliver as part of our proposal? Yes.